divider, mountain mover, life giver, way maker, Jesus forever. You are mighty to save. Ocean divider, mountain mover, life giver, way maker, Jesus forever. You are mighty to save. You are mighty to save. Hey, you are mighty to save.
Ocean divide, that's whom you are. How vile did I tell you how beautiful you are? I said you work so high, I picture your work so fly. Even the bird that flies glorifies your name. Got me singing how marvelous you are. You created me in your images and that's so nice. You gave me Jesus, what a sacrifice. You brought out the Red Sea for the Israelites.
Ocean divider, mountain mover, life giver, way maker, Jesus forever. You are mighty to save. Ocean divider, mountain mover, life giver, way maker, Jesus forever. You are mighty to save. You are mighty to save. Hey, you are mighty to save. Just when my back was against the wall, Jesus stepped in and he made a way. Ocean divider, I live a brief to exalt you, Lord, for all you do. Without you, there's no me. Mountain mover, you are the rose of Sharon, a mighty warrior, the Lord Almighty, a mighty in battle. You are mighty to save. When I ask for a little, you do too much. I call upon you and you just answer. Incredible God. Ocean divider, mountain mover, life giver, way maker, Jesus forever. You are mighty to save. Ocean divider, mountain mover, life giver, way maker, Jesus forever. You are mighty to save. You are mighty to save. Hey, you are mighty to save. You are mighty to save.
Hello everyone and welcome to Checkpoint. We are live. Can you beat that? I'm so glad you are here. I want you to begin to invite everyone, invite your friends, your relations, your associates, your neighbors. It's your host again, Pastor Missy Former Eze, and I'm here live on Checkpoint. And today is our question and answer session. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, I'd like you to begin to invite everyone. Let's get there. Let's get ready for Checkpoint. Remember, it's on YouTube. Invite everyone you know. Tell them they should meet us on YouTube. It's going to be a beautiful hangout session with everyone you know. What are you waiting for? Start inviting that friend. Start inviting that relation. Start inviting that associate and that neighbor. And we're going to roll the intro montage again. And once we are done with that, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. I'm so glad you are there. All right, so welcome back to Checkpoint. Today is our live session, and you know how we roll on a live session? Wow, it's always interesting, super thrilling. And today we'll be answering all your questions. I know we've been having a stockpile of questions over time, but today you get to ask these questions live. So tell me, let me know in the comment section that you are here. All right, I'm looking at the comment section right now on YouTube, and I can see your comments. Wow, Mish said it's going to be very interesting. So it's going to be a very great session. I believe so. It's going to be a very great session. Yeah. Please come in, everybody. Let everyone know it's time. It's time. Go and look for your friends. Ask them, where are you? Why are you not live on Checkpoint? Everybody should be here right now, because what we do is very engaging, very powerful. I like everyone to join. All right, so I'm going to give a few more minutes so that some people can join. When you join, just say hi. Just let me know you are there so I can also say hi to you. All right, I'm looking at the comment section. You know that's what we do whenever we are live. I'm looking at the comment section. I'm trying to find your comment. I'm trying to find what you are saying to me so that I can respond equally. All right, let us do this. By the way, how was your day? Hope it was great. Hope there were no distractions, and hope it wasn't as stressful as mine. Mine was sort of stressful, but then I'm here, and I'm here for you. All right, so let's see. Yes, I see a comment by my darling husband, Bishop Okudili Eze. He said, great moment. Yes, I believe that. Blessings, we receive that. Thank you so much. I see Ola, my friend, saying hi. I see you. Welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah. I see, okay, Sister Sylvia Osaramwen. You are lifted, ma. Good to see you. Good to see you too. How was your day? Hope good. All right. Yeah. I am Kelly Jen said, now we day here. Okay, I feel you. All right. Please invite your friends, your associates, your neighbors. Let everyone know that it's time for Checkpoint. We are live, right? Direct. We are live now. All right. So please, I like you to, as you invite your friends, you invite your neighbors and your friends and your associates and everyone around you, it will be time for you to start asking your questions so that we can start addressing these questions one after the other. All right? Feel free, push your questions, fill it in, push it in, and then I'll be getting it. I see you, Ure Fluxy. How you doing? Welcome. You are lifted, Mama. You are lifted for life too. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see everyone live on this broadcast. All right. So please, it's a question and answer session. Feel free to start throwing in your questions, and then we'll start taking them one after the other. All right? One after the other. Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I am saying hi to everybody watching. I don't want to leave anybody behind. All right? I don't want to leave anybody behind. Okay. Just off that in. All right, so now will be the time for you to start throwing in your questions so that we can take them. We are live on Checkpoint. How beautiful can that be? All right, before you begin to throw in your questions, I'd like to take out this time to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do for us at Checkpoint. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, and for also subscribing on our YouTube channel and for clicking on that notification bell so that you get fresh content as soon as they land on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for all that you do. If you have not subscribed, please, now will be the time. Look out for that red inscription written subscribe. Just click on it and you are subscribed. All right, just like that, as simple as that. And then look for the shape of the bell and click on that, and then you have also clicked on the notification bell. That will ensure that you get notified whenever fresh contents come your way. All right, so please, I want to welcome every one of you. Thank you so much for all that you do for us here at Checkpoint. And because of all that you do, our message is able to reach a wider audience, is able to reach everyone, and people are getting blessed by it because you share. So I want to encourage you, go ahead, share on all your social media platforms, share on all your links, all right, so that everyone can join. Share the links everywhere, and let's do this together. Are you ready? All right. Okay, so I'm waiting for your questions. Now will be the time. If you have a question, go ahead, send in that question, and then we will go. We will start. We will move. All right. So send in your questions. Let's do this together. All right. I'm reading through the hellos and the highs and the yes. Yes. I see all of you. I'm so glad you are here. All right. I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad you are live with us. Yeah. All right. So while I wait on a question, I like to take a question that has been sent to me before in other previous sessions of Checkpoint. I want to take that question now while I wait for your own questions. Will that be fine? Yes, I hope so. All right. So I'm going to get the question, and then I would share the question with you. So someone asked me some time ago, and the person was like, what can I do? I'm a single lady and I'm always feeling lonely. And in fact, it prompted me to be able to share a particular session with the platform I share, the King's Ruby's platform. I was able to share this idea with them, and I'm going to share the same answers that I gave to the person with you. So she was like, how do I cope with loneliness even as a single lady? And that prompted me to hold that session on the King's Rubies. But for your own benefit and for the blessing of everyone out there, I want to share that same answers to that same question so that it will benefit you. Now, being single is not a curse. Being single is a blessing. As a matter of fact, if you have an idea of how your time, your life, your everything will be divided by and shared by different people after you're married, you appreciate this single time. Being single can be a blessing. It can really be an opportunity for you to explore yourself, an opportunity for you to get to know yourself more, an opportunity for you to advance, you know, build up on your capacity, build up on yourself, make new friends, reach out, travel the world, and engage yourself in very productive activities. But many people just sulk just because of the part of the loneliness. But in all honesty, you don't have to be lonely. You just need good quality friends, people that can cheer you up, people that you can think business together, make plans together, travel together, do business together. There are lots and lots of things that you can do to make sure that you are not feeling lonely, you know, because when you are single, sometimes these feelings of being left behind comes upon you, and you feel like, oh, all your friends are married, all your friends have advanced, and then you are just there alone. But that's not really the situation. So I'd like to share with you just maybe 4 or 5 things that you can do to make sure that you are able to cope well even when you are single. All right, so number 1, you have to immerse yourself in meaningful activities. Look for very meaningful things you can do. It could be a new sport, it could be a new skill, it could be a new game, anything it is that can keep you happy. All right, because happiness is basically about your mindset, not about your situation. Let me say that again. Happiness is basically about your mindset, not your situation. Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, I'd like you to just type it also in the chat room. Type it right now. Let me know that you heard me live and direct. And also remember, as you type in the live chat room, also type on the comment section, because the one of the comment section will remain long after this program. All right, so immerse yourself in meaningful activities. Have friends, have things that you do that is meaningful to you. Do you want to see the cost of education advance? Go ahead and do something about that. Do you want to see people being helped? Go ahead and do that. Whatever it is that is a burden in your heart, go ahead and do that. Number 2, you have to recognize that not all your thoughts are facts. All right, so sometimes you might be thinking about something was wrong with me, for me not to be married now, there's something was wrong with me, maybe I'm not as beautiful as others, maybe I'm not as gifted as others, maybe there's a cause somewhere. You know, all your thoughts are not facts. There are many things that go through that mind of yours that are really not true, and you cannot allow them to disrupt your life or to affect your destiny. So you have to move ahead and make sure that those thoughts are not evading your life, because there are some negative thoughts that you may be having. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not smart enough. Oh, I'm not beautiful enough. Oh, I'm not handsome enough. All of those thoughts are not really correct. So sometimes know that some of those thoughts are just thoughts that will come and pass because they don't belong to you. All right, so let's talk about number 3 thing you can do in order to cope as a single lady is even as a single lady, as a single guy. All right, so because the person that asked the question was the lady, does not mean that the same answers do not apply to the guy. So if you're a guy out there and you're feeling lonely, just apply the same principles and they would work for you. All right, so don't wait for to be in a relationship to pursue your goals. I won't say this again. Don't wait to be in a relationship before you pursue your goals. I know there are goals in your mind. There are things you want to do. There are things you want to do in your life, your personal life. It could be personal development. It could be in terms of career. It could be in terms of setting up a business. Look out for those goals and pursue them. All right. You don't need to be in a relationship to make those personal goals work. That is very, very important. And then you have to also don't use your past relationships to determine your future. Don't use your past relationships to determine your future. The fact that you made mistakes in the past, the fact that you had bad relationships in the past does not mean that your future has to be bad. All right. So you've had challenges in your relationship in the past. You've had issues. You've had a break. People have broken your heart. The relationship has gone bad. Does not mean that your future has to be bad equally. So please make sure that you don't use your past relationships to decide your future. Now, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. And I want to tell you the last one I like to share with you. Don't put yourself on a pedestal, all right? Don't think that there is something you have to change in order to be dateable. Maybe the person in your previous relationship told you, oh, I don't like the way you smile, I don't like the way you look, I don't like something about you, and then you decide to now put yourself on a pedestal, you know? You decide to now put yourself in a situation whereby you begin to work on yourself to change a particular thing. Now, listen to me. I'm not saying that if you have a character flaw, you shouldn't change. If you have a character flaw, go ahead and change. But you don't need to change your looks or change your shape of your body or change the way you talk or anything because a person does not like it. You'll be surprised. If the fact that one person does not like it does not mean that everybody doesn't like that particular thing. Someone might tell you, I don't like the way you smile, but then the next person coming your way might just be your smile that is the only thing that is attracting that person your way. So please give yourself a break, love yourself, appreciate yourself. Don't put your life on that pedestal. Don't make your entire life be a definition of what they think about you. All right? So let's check online and see how many other people are live. Wow, I have so many people here live and they're asking plenty questions. All right, let's get to it and then let's see how it goes. Okay, so I have Bishop Obudlieze is asking, why does depression still affect believers despite being filled with the Holy Spirit? How can one overcome depression permanently? All right, so most times what causes depression could be anxiety, it could be the feelings of lack of fulfillment. Maybe you feel that something has not been fulfilled in your life, and there are expectations that you feel, I'm not meeting up with these expectations. There are plans you have that may not be working. There are different reasons why depression can occur in the life of an individual, and a Christian is not even exempted. Let me show you some biblical examples. You remember Prophet Elijah, right? Prophet Elijah came to a point. He was the one who God had used to kill the 400 prophets of Baal. God has also used him to do amazing things. You know, fire had to come down from heaven just because of his prayers. But Elijah still got depressed. And when he got depressed, what did he do? He opened his mouth and he said something like, am I better than my fathers? God should even kill me, you know, just because he was depressed. And something that depression does to us is that depression removes our eyes from what is working and places our eyes on what is not working at the moment. Let me say that again. Depression takes away our eyes from what is working and fixes it on what is not working. So whenever you're feeling depressed, certainly you are focusing on the things that are not working in your life, because if you can focus on the things that are really working in your life, you surprisingly see yourself becoming grateful. Now, when you feel depressed, one of the things you can do as a believer is that you can remove your eyes from the things that are not working and focus them on the things that are currently working. Let me say that again. You have to remove your eyes from things that are not working and focus your eyes on the things that are already working. Because you cannot be grateful and depressed at the same time. You cannot. It's not possible to be grateful and to be depressed at the same time. If you are depressed, you are not grateful. If you are grateful, you are not depressed. So one thing you can try out is to be grateful. Sit down and begin to thank God for the things that you know are working in your life. There are several things that are currently working in your life as we speak. So begin to count them. You have life. You are not bedridden, all right? You can move your hands. You can move your legs. You have a working brain. You have people in your life who love you. Begin to count. You are not burying anybody. There are things to count in your life. You are healthy. You are not in the hospital, all right? There are several things to count in your life. So when you count your blessings, I believe that you'll not be depressed. So that's one of the ways through which you can overcome depression. And then fill your thoughts with the Word of God. Fill your thoughts with the Word of God. The Word of God is there to encourage you, to cheer you up. As a matter of fact, the Bible says that there are things you should think on. All things that are lovely, everything that is of good report, everything that is good. He said, think on these things. So even the scriptures tell us what we should think on and what we should not think about in the book of Philippians. So this is very, very key. Focus your attention on the things that are working. Fill your heart with the scriptures, and then reach out to people. There should be somebody in your life who you're able to talk to. Everyone needs a support system. That system where you always have, you're always thinking about stuff all by yourself. You're worrying all by yourself. You're not reaching out to anybody. Is not a healthy one. Make sure there is somebody in your life that you can talk to, somebody in your life that you can reach out to. There are friends around you, real friends, not frenemies, that you can hang out with and then share what it is that is really bothering your heart. This is very key. Have a healthy support system. And yes, Christians can be depressed. Christians can be depressed. I told you about Prophet Elijah right now, right? Christians can be depressed. David came to a point when he was praying for the life of the child. He could not eat. He could not do anything. He was depressed. So I want to encourage you, even as a Christian, we all can get depressed. But then there is a way out. There is a way out. And we cannot allow ourselves to be buried by that depression. All right? So if you're depressed, wherever you are, please cheer up. God is with you. All right? There are several times the Bible says that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God delivers them through it all. God can deliver you through, no matter the number of the afflictions you are currently going through. God is ready and willing to help you deliver you from every one of them. All right. So let me look for another question. All right. So somebody's saying hello, Victor Perry. Hello, welcome to Checkpoint. Wadike Amanda, right on, Mama. Thank you, sweetheart. Welcome to Checkpoint. All right, so Mish is asking a question. Mama, please, my question is, do you really need to be in a relationship before marriage? Is it really necessary? I've gotten this question before, and people are like, do I need to date and court before I get married? Do I need to be in a relationship before I get married? And the answer is yes, it is necessary that you get to know the person. I know that in Bible times and in the olden days, people did not have to be in a relationship before they got married. So they just say hello, hi, this one is from a reasonable family, and because of that they just agree and they get married together. Now, the reason why I advocate for a relationship before you get married is that you are able to see clearly, you are able to figure out for yourself if this person is good enough for you or if this person is not going to be good enough for you. Because if you just see somebody and just get married immediately like that, there is a likelihood that there are things that you may not have had time to notice. You know, there may be red flags that you might not see on the first day that you might see eventually if you guys are on a relationship. So when it comes to relationships, the dating is the first level, the courtship is the second level, engagement is the third level, and then marriage is the final level. So it's important that you have the relationship for a little period of time before you get married. There are people who have very long relationships and you wonder if what they are studying is medicine or law. You know, when you have studied medicine, you have studied for many years. When you have studied law, you have studied for many years. Now people go into a relationship and they're like trying to study the person they want to get married to for years, and you're wondering, is this the degree? It's not a degree. And so they put a ring on the finger of the lady, and then the lady becomes the Lord of the Rings, and she'll be carrying the ring around. First year passed, second year passed, third year. That is no longer good. So while I advocate for relationship before marriage, I also advocate that a relationship should not be too short. It should not be too long. If you ask me to recommend the time frame for a quality relationship, I'll tell you anytime between 6 months and 1 year should be fine. Anytime between 6 months and 1 year should be fine for you to be able to see the things you need to see concerning that person, the person's attitude, the person's character, the person's mentality, all right, the person's vision, where the person is going to, the person's spirituality, the person's mindset as it relates to life and other issues. So this is very, very key. Relationship is necessary before marriage. And like I said, it should not be too short, neither should it be too long? Okay, I see I have several questions here. All right, I have another question from Pastor Ikechukwu Marcus. I said, I hear you, ma. Fire on. Thank you. All right, Pastor Ikechukwu Marcus has a question. He said, okay, is that a question? He said, don't use your past relationship to determine your future. I hear that one. Yes, thank you for hearing that one. Beauty God says, shoot, mom. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yes. Okay, I have another one. Okay, it's just they are re-echoing what I said before. Don't wait to be in a relationship before you pursue your goals. Very, very important. I am Kelly. Very, very important. You have to pursue your goals. Don't wait. Don't put your life in that stop position just because relationship is not working does not mean your purpose cannot be working. Let me say that again. Just because your relationship is not working at the moment does not mean your purpose should not work. So work on your purpose, work on your life, work on your future. All right. So I have a question from I am Kelly. He said, Mom, please, how do you overcome emotional blackmail? How do you overcome emotional blackmail? Now, listen to me. I have a complete video on emotional blackmail. I'd like you to watch that video. I'll be sharing it as a link under this video by the end of this particular episode. I have a full video on emotional blackmail. If my team gets it, they will share it alongside this particular program. How you can overcome emotional blackmail. Number one is that you should be self-aware. Okay, know yourself. When somebody says, you are the reason why I am failing in life. You are the reason, in fact, since I came into a relationship with you, things are working badly for me. That's emotional blackmail. Now, one of the ways through which you can overcome emotional blackmail is that you have to be self-aware. You have to know who you are. When you know that you are the son of a king, when you know that you're the daughter of a king, you know that things cannot be working badly with anybody you come into a relationship with. Because people who emotionally blackmail you try to make you look like you are the problem. Now you cannot allow them to make you look like you are the problem because you are not the problem. Let me tell you this thing. It takes one person to destroy a relationship, but it takes two people to make a relationship work. Let me say that again. It takes one person to destroy a marriage, but it takes two people to make a marriage work. So it's clear, if you want to make your relationship or your marriage to work, the both of you involved in that relationship or marriage have to come together, have to work together, have to put your foot down to make the relationship work. So don't allow anybody to make you feel like you are the problem. So self-awareness is key. In self-awareness, you're able to know who you are. You're able to know the potentials you have. You're able to know the things that make you happy and the things that trigger sadness for you. And then you make up your mind to avoid the ones that need to be avoided. So self-awareness is very key to avoid emotional blackmail. And the second thing that will help you to avoid emotional blackmail is that you should be able to speak up. When somebody is trying to paint you black or make you feel like you are the problem, you should be able to speak up for yourself and say, no, this is not it. This is how it really is. Don't make it look like I am the problem. People who make you emotionally blackmail you can even make you apologize even when they are wrong. So you should be able to speak up and say, no, this is not supposed to be. This is what it is. This is what happened. And you should be able to attack what the person is saying without attacking the personality. Let me say that again. You should be able to attack what the person is saying without attacking the personality. Because when you attack the person's personality, what you've done is that you are destroying the person's emotions too. All right, so while you don't want somebody to emotionally blackmail you, you don't want to also be the emotional blackmailer, right? So you have to be self-aware. You have to speak up for yourself. And if that is a relationship, if that is an emotional relationship, a romantic relationship, you have to start running for your dear life before it becomes late. There are people in marriage who emotionally emotionally blackmail their wives. There are people in marriage who emotionally blackmail their husbands. And this is not good. Whether it's coming from the male or it's coming from the female, you have to stand strong. You have to know who you are. Very important. Then you have to speak up, and then you have to create other self-support systems. Let me tell you something. An emotional blackmailer, one of the things they do is that when they come around you, they begin to love you. They love you in a way that they begin to cut you off from other people who equally love you. So an emotional blackmailer will do something like this in your life. He or she will come around you and make you feel like you are the only person they love, and that they should be the only persons you two love. And when they do that, they begin to cut you off from other quality relationships that can keep you very balanced. So when they succeed in doing that, and they know that they are the only person that you have in your life, then it will be time for them to blackmail you with anything they've got. And when this happens, you have cut off from other people who would have cancelled you, other people who would have told you the truth, and now you are at their mercy because you don't want to be alone. You don't want to feel like you are the only person in the world. And that's how they begin to emotionally blackmail you. An emotional blackmailer will tell you, now that we're in a relationship, please lose all the contacts you have in your phone. The only person you need is me, all right? We are the only person that, in fact, we need each other only. But that's not true. Other quality relationships in your life are very key for you to have a very sound mental health and for you to become a very well-rounded person. So this is very, very important. All right. I hope I've been able to touch that question a little, but I'd like you to watch the full video and we'll be sending you the link. All right. I have another question. That question is from Mish. She said, Mama, please, how do you overcome pressure from friends and families who are forcing you to go into a dating relationship? How do you overcome pressure by friends and families? Let me tell you something. Friends and families are not going to do that relationship for you. Let me say it again. Friends and families, they're not going to have that relationship for you. In fact, they're not going to be in that relationship for you. So if you let anybody push you into a relationship you are not ready for, what will happen invariably is that when they push you and they begin to have problems, the same people will be like, why didn't you choose well? Why are you not making right decisions for your life? They would come and blame you for it. So if you're not ready, you're not ready. And when you are ready, be very, very ready. Don't allow friends and families to push you into a relationship. They'll look at you, oh, there's no ring on this finger yet. They'll look at you, they'll be like, I thought you should be married by now. They'll look at you, this is how old you are. Listen to me. Just get into a relationship when you are ready. No matter who is pushing you, whether it be a father, a mother, a sibling, a friend, please resist the urge to do things because people feel this is the right time to do it. Rather, be in that relationship. Do what you have to do for that relationship simply because you know it is the right time to be in that relationship, because it is working for you at that moment. Never fall for the pressure. One way to avoid falling for that pressure is that you have to let people know, be assertive, okay? Tell friends and family, when it is time, I'll be in a relationship. Please do not force it. Even the Bible in the book of Songs of Solomon said, do not awaken love until it is time. Do not wake love up until it is time, which means there is a time for everything. Nobody should force you into a relationship, because when you begin to experience the bad sides of those relationships, they will not be there to help you. They will not be there to care for you. They will not be there to save you from the negative effects of that relationship. So do it in your own time, but make sure you also do it at a good time. Somebody might be hearing and say, oh, Mama, I like what you just said. And then you are 40 or 45 and you're saying, I'm doing it in my own time. You see, what I just said does not apply to you. You are there watching me. What I said does not apply to you, not in any way. If you are 40, you are 45, you are almost 50, please go and get married. You want to give birth to a child that when you want to chase the child will say, okay, come and run. And then because this child knows you cannot even run, you cannot chase the child, you cannot beat the child. Don't do that. And then maybe before the child is ready for primary school, you're already an old man or an old woman. That's not what you want equally. So please, while there is a good time for everything, don't allow anybody to push you into what you're not ready. Because remember, we are all in different time zones, even here on earth. The God who created us ensure that all of us will be in different time zones. Okay, so we're here in Nigeria. America is like 6 hours behind us. Other countries like South Korea are in their own daylight, and while we're in the darkness. So it's important that you know that everybody is in their own different time zones and they're doing well, which means that you should make sure that you work in your own time zone. All right, don't allow anybody to push you or mount pressure on you to do what you don't want to do. All right, so let me continue with the comments and questions. Okay, Sasiva said depression takes our eyes from what is working, yes, and fixes it on what things are not working. That's very, very correct. So Sloma Ifendo said focus on things that are working. That's very correct. Stasiva said, how do one deal with users? This is like another shade of the emotional blackmail. How do you deal with users? Number one, you have to identify them. You have to know for yourself, is this person a user or is this person just needy? You know, we have to separate those who are needy from those who are users. A needy person is coming to you for help because they don't have anyone else. And they are sincerely making effort to get better, but somehow it's not working out for them. And they are genuinely in need. But you see, a user is not exactly like the needy. A user is that person who knows that what they can get from you, they can get it from elsewhere, who knows that they can do some hard work and get that same result, but they prefer to just collect than to give. A user never thinks of giving, rather they think of collecting. A user is always looking for who to use to achieve their own personal goals and their own personal dreams. And you have to make sure that you identify a user for who they are. One thing about a user is that users never give. Users always receive. So if you check out that person in your life who is always collecting, the person has the capacity to give, but never gives what they are able to give. Rather, they place themselves in a position where they're always collecting from you. That is a user. Check around your life. There must be some, and sometimes before you call somebody a user, be sure. Because somebody who is not giving, okay, let me use this scenario. Maybe you are always giving somebody money on a regular basis, and you cannot tag the person a user if the person is giving you service in return. Okay, so if while this person cannot give you back money, this person is serving you with their time. The person is serving you with their energy, all right, or his or her energy. The person is serving you with his or her talent. You cannot call the person a user because there is something the person is giving in return. But for a user collects and never gives anything in return. A user will not be available despite the fact they collect your money. A user will never do anything for you despite they collect your money. A user will never be standing for you despite they collect your money. So they are practically useless to you. So one characteristic of users is that users are useless to you. What a definition. So that's how you know them. Users are useless to you. When you see users, they never do anything for you. Rather, you're the one who is always doing stuff for them. So when you identify them, you have to give them space. When you identify a user, you have to give a user space, all right? Because you don't want to be dragged into that their wormhole. You don't want to be dragged into that where they're taking you to. No. They will suck you dry. They will liquidate you. They will keep collecting from you till you have nothing else to give. A user can even come, and whenever they're feeling bad, they come to you. But when they're okay, they never come to you. When they're having their breakdowns, they come to you. When they're having their breakthroughs, they run away from you. That is a typical user. So when you understand that this person is a user, you have to give them some space. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to give them something you cannot do. You cannot do without. Okay? Don't make sacrifices for your user. It's always, in fact, people get hurt emotionally when they make sacrifices for users, because you've given them your all, you've gone out of your way to do something for them, and in return they are giving you back nothing. So please avoid a user. All right, that's basically how to deal with them. Avoid a user. When you identify them, you may not want to confront them. All right, I know some people are very confrontational, but you may not want to confront them. What you may do is just recognize them and then give them some space. The things you can give to them, give to them. The things, services you can render to them, but don't always make yourself available for them, because you know that this person is only just collecting from you and never giving anything back to you. So that's how you deal with a user. All right, Beauty Gold said, thank you so much, Mom. Thank you. Miss TV said, I hear you, Mama. I hear you. Thank you. I hear you too. I am Kelly said, be grateful. Yeah, you have to be grateful in order to survive. Cecilia said, Lady of the Ring. Yes, so yes, not Lord of the Ring, Lady of the Ring. I hear you. Okay, T Black said, shoot, Mom. Thank you so much. All right, we have another question from Bishop Okudilese. He said, are there reasons why prophecies tarry, especially the ones that have timelines? What should be your attitude even when prophecies tarry? Yes, prophecies tarry. Prophecies can tarry. There are several reasons why prophecies tarry, even if they have timelines. Number one reason why a prophecy can tarry is because God, in his infinite wisdom, is waiting for the best time to release that prophecy. All right, he's waiting for the best time to release that prophecy, because he makes all things beautiful in his time. Number two reason why prophecies tarry might be because the vessel who has received the prophecy is not ready to receive that prophecy. All right, so maybe God is telling you you're going to be a queen to a king, yet everything that is your character is a ghetto character. You cannot get married to the king, because there are things that God needs to work inside of you. There are things he needs to remove and edit and change from your inside before you'll be able to marry the king. So that's a second reason why prophecies tarry. Another reason why prophecies tarry could be satanic or demonic forces. All right, so sometimes demons and principalities will do everything in their power to make sure that your prophecies over your life does not come to pass. In such situations, you have to engage superior warfare. You have to engage superior knowledge of the word of God and fight back in the place of prayers and fasting. So that's another reason why prophecies tarry. Another reason why prophecies can tarry is that prophecies can tarry when God has foreseen a problem in the future, and he's doing everything to make sure that that prophecy happens in its right time. Let me give you an example. Assuming that God has given you a prophecy and then to go to America, and then maybe something happens and like, okay, let me leave America. God has given a prophecy to study in Ukraine, and then for some reason is looking delayed, and all of a sudden you now notice that Ukraine and Russia is going to war. All of it, to make sense to you that, oh, God did not allow me to get this admission at this particular time because he saw this war coming and they want me to be in the middle of it. So there are several reasons why prophecies can tarry, especially prophecies that have timelines. Now, when prophecies tarry, what should be your attitude? The attitude you should display is an attitude of, number one, the attitude of being committed. Remain committed to God irrespective of what's happening. Remain committed to God even when your prophecies have tarried. Remain committed to God even when it seems like things are not working. All right, so even when things are not working, keep showing up. Even when it's not working, keep showing up. Keep doing what you are doing. Keep being diligent. Keep working hard at it, because that is the attitude of somebody. Even when your prophecy has tarried, you want to get better. You want to do well, all right? You want God to remember you, because God ultimately is the one who will make sure that your prophecies come to pass. So when your prophecies tarry, remain committed. Secondly, remain consistent. Remain consistent. When your prophecies have tarried, remain consistent. Keep doing that thing you have been doing. Keep at it. Keep showing up even when nobody is listening to you. You know, I heard Bishop T.D. Jakes in a short video this morning, and I know the video may not be current, but that was when I heard it. He said that for 10 whole years, Bishop T.D. Jakes, preached to only 100 people. You see, that I could not wrap my mind around it. I could not even imagine it. Like Bishop TDJ preached to only 100 people for 10 years. He said he never knew he was going to have a big church. He never knew he was going to go global, but he kept preaching to those 100 people. He kept showing God that even with this little crowd, he was willing to keep talking to them, keep preaching to them, even when he had not seen the crowd. And while he was still preaching to 100 people committedly, he went had a program in Kenya where he had over 1 million people gathered. He preached to them, and when he came back, he was still preaching to the 100 people. Like, seriously, I was like, wow. You see, the stories of great men reveal to you the work that God has had with them. So please, before you criticize anybody or look down on anybody, hear their story. Hear their story, because they have come through a walk with God. So your attitude should be an attitude of what? Consistency. While you're committed, remain consistent. Keep doing that thing you are doing. Keep working at it. And then thirdly, you need to have the attitude of gratitude. Gratitude. Sit back and count your blessings. Count your blessings, name them one by one. That's what the songwriter said. Count your blessings and see what the Lord has done. So even while these prophecies have tarried, please begin to count the things that God has done for you. You have a genuine ministry, you have life, you have children, you have beautiful family, you have a good name. These are things to thank God for while waiting for your prophecies to come to pass. Your prophecies may have tarried, I understand. It's painful, it can be depressing. Even the Bible says that hope deferred maketh the heart sick. Yes, but then through it all, learn to be grateful. Be happy. All right, count your blessings. Focus on the things that are actually working in your life, the blessings that God has given to you. Those things are priceless. All right, so appreciate God for the while working. So while you're appreciating God, keep working. While you're appreciating God, keep doing what He has asked you to do, and eventually the prophecies will be released. Okay, darling, I hope I have answered that question very well. Thank you. All right, so I have another question from T. Bladge. She said, Mom, is engagement before marriage that's too necessary before marriage? Okay, I'm trying to get the question as it is asked. Is engagement before marriage necessary? Is it like part of the process? Yes, it is part of the process, but I always advise people. There are 4 basic processes. Number 1 is dating. Second one is courtship. Third one is engagement. And the final one is marriage. Now, in dating, you are trying to find out if you can even have a relationship with this person. So when you say you're dating, you're basically having dates. You're basically meeting at different times to see if the relationship can work. In courtship, both of you have seen that this relationship can work. It is, in fact, it is already working. So in courtship, both of you have said, yes, we will marry each other. We have agreed we are going to marry each other. That's courtship. And then at that courtship time, you begin to plan, okay, so what do we want in our future? What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? What do you think about this aspect of life? Now, the third stage is engagement. At engagement, you are not only putting a ring on the person's finger, you are getting the families to be involved. Once there is an engagement, there is a plan for a wedding in view. There's a plan for a marriage in view. So when you say that you are engaging a person, that's why I said the engagement shouldn't be so long, and it shouldn't be so long from the moment of the engagement. Sorry, the marriage should not be too long from the moment of the engagement. It's important for you to know this, that after the engagement comes the marriage. And at engagement, family members are now getting to know that this is the person I want to marry. This is the person I want to live the rest of my life with. But then at engagement, we begin to plan for the wedding. We begin to plan for the marriage itself. At engagement, what you are doing. Okay, let me show you. At dating stage, what you are doing is I'm checking him out. He's checking me out. We're trying to figure out if it's going to work. At courtship, what are we doing? We are trying to say, okay, so what is our plan for our future? How are we going to make it work? What are the things that we need? What are the things that we're going to do? Is this how many children are we going to have? What kind of life are we going to live? That's what we do during courtship. At engagement, family members are already aware. You're not asking, you're not trying to find out how many children you're trying to have. You have settled that at the courtship level. So at the engagement level, what are you thinking of? What's our wedding date? When are we doing the wedding? Where is the venue? Which house are we going to live in? Where are we going to train our children? So these are the levels, the different things you have to discuss at these different stages. At marriage, you're already living together, you're planning about your future together and stuff like that. So there are things to think about, things to look at different stages of your relationship. So engagement is necessary before marriage, because it's at the engagement level that you get your family members involved. However, an engagement party is not necessary. So when I say that engagement is necessary, I do not mean that it has to be a party like engagement party. You throw away all the money you would have used for wedding for engagement. No. While engagement is necessary, just has to be a day. Just has to be a day you take, maybe the guy takes the lady to the family, and the lady takes the guy to their family. Something as simple as that. Just let them know, this is the person I want to get married to, and we want to receive your blessings. We are looking at getting married by April or by May or by June. That is engagement. That's what it is. So you don't necessarily need an engagement party before marriage. So engagement is necessary, but not an engagement party. And also, an engagement ring might not be necessary, because if you just make up your mind you are fixing a date for the marriage, you go ahead and get married. Engagement ring does not have to be a very necessary part of your relationship. Okay, so you can engage without an engagement ring, and then work towards getting your wedding ring, so that you don't see yourself buying an engagement ring and then also looking for money to buy a wedding ring. So that's how it goes. But if both of you want to have an engagement ring, why not? Go ahead. Remember, it's about what you make it, but there is no one. There are some things that are compulsory, and there are some things that are not compulsory. I've seen people buy engagement rings, and then eventually they bought the wedding rings, and the engagement ring was just lying fallow, or they sold it off or stuff like that. So know what is okay for you and do. And then don't say you have engaged somebody and 1 year has passed, second year has passed. Remember, she's not lady of the ring. I said a lot of rings before, but now she's not the lady of the ring. So don't make her lady of the ring. That's very, very important. All right. I am receiving wonderful comments. I have a comment from Sylvia, said, I hear you, ma. Thank you so much. I have a comment from Kelly, said, I'm learning, ma. Thank you so much for learning. I have another question. It said, from Sylvia, she said, ma, what if the person is known to constantly use emotional blackmail as a weapon? You should run away from such a person. If you know that this person constantly uses emotional blackmail as a weapon, that person does not deserve to be around you or around your life. There are people that they will use they can use emotional blackmail to the point that they can even cause the person they're in a relationship with to die. I've seen a man make a lady's life miserable. And what was he doing? Every blessed morning. Did I add blessed to it? Every morning. Whether it was blessed or not, every morning, every night, he was always telling her terrible things. This man has never lifted his hands to beat her before. But he is an emotional abuser. There is no kind of thing this lady has not heard from him. He's always telling her, you are the reason why my life is going terrible. You are the reason this happened. You are the reason your father died. You are the reason this one happened. You know, emotional blackmailer. Everything negative, everything bad. To the point that this lady does no longer have anything we call healthy self-esteem. She does not have it. She's a walking inferiority complex. I'm telling you. Just because she got into a relationship with what? An emotional blackmailer. So if you notice somebody who uses emotional blackmail as a weapon, please run. And when you're running, don't look back. When you're running, if your slippers falls on the road, keep running. If your shoe falls off, keep running, because an emotional blackmailer is not worth living with. It's one of the most miserable things that anybody can experience here on earth. As a matter of fact, if you get married to an emotional blackmailer, you would wish that you were not born. Honestly. You will be so troubled, so emotionally troubled. I've seen somebody who is suffering mental health issues simply because of the person he married. He married a terrible, terrible woman that is always emotionally blackmailing him. I'm telling you. And today, the man, his head is no longer correct. Simply because of the woman this woman can nag for Africa. She can nag life, blood out of his body. It's terrible. And you notice them on time, but he just said, oh, don't worry, she's just complaining. notice it on time and run for your dear life. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, because it will make life terrible for you. In fact, you will stop seeing life normally. Anything you see in life, you just be seeing it from a negative, unhappy perspective, and that is not life for you. Remember, this life is really, really short, and we have to maximize it. We have to make good use of it, okay? So please don't waste your life with an emotional blackmailer. Very, very important. Yes. A beauty God said, thank you, too much wisdom, thank you, more grace, thank you so much. Kelly said, I hear you, ma, thank you so much. Sasiva said, narcissistic people use this too. Yes, very narcissistic people. When you see a narcissist, that's how you know them. They emotionally blackmail you, because they're always nice. They always feel good about themselves. They always try to make themselves feel good and then make another person feel terrible. That is very, very important, yeah. All right, I'm getting comments. I'm trying to find questions. Yes, I am. Kelly said it takes one person to destroy a relationship. Yes, and it takes two persons to make a relationship work. That's right, because only one person cannot make a relationship work, and it takes only one person to destroy a working relationship. That's very, very important. Yes, Cynthia Ezaharukwe said yes, exactly, ma. Thank you so much. Honeybell, avoid very emotional blackmailers in your life completely. Absolutely right, Honeybell. Absolutely right. Kelly said, speak up. Yes. Mish said, do not wake love until it's time. That's correct. Cynthia said, don't wake love. Yeah. Kelly said, attack what the person is saying, but don't attack the personality. Very important. You can attack what the person has done or what the person is saying without attacking the person. Like when somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody and the person does not throw away the trash, all right, and leaves the trash. Why not, instead of saying just, why didn't you throw away this trash? This trash is making our house untidy, it's making the whole place smell. Instead of saying, that's what you should say. But some people, instead of saying just that, you know what they will do? They say, that's how useless your life is. You cannot do anything right. That's how you left from school. That's how you did this. And they'll start connecting the trash matter to everything about the person's life. And that should not be so. So attack the offense, what the person has done, but don't attack the person's personality. Yeah, very correct. Okay, I have a question from Beauty Go. She said, Mom, please, is it right for parents to tell the man that want to marry to build a house for them before marrying you? Ooh, why would they do that? That's wrong. Wrong by every count. What do they want? You see, it's not right for parents to tell the person who wants to marry their daughter to build a house for them before he marries. In fact, they might even be the reason why their daughter is not married at this moment. There are parents, I've heard this story before. There are parents who do it, and it is completely wrong. The person who is building a house for you, what has he built for himself? What has he built for even the new family he's trying to raise? So this is very important. Parents should stop making unnecessary demands from the person that wants to get married to their daughter. Don't say you should come and build a house for us first before you marry our daughter. You might as well you can make the man to even go. And what if this man decides to build a house for you and then gives your daughter a miserable life? Will it be worth it? Will it be worth it? So I've told you this story before, and maybe I should say it in a very concise version of a particular guy who wanted to marry me sometime many years ago while I was in the university. Okay, that should be my third year, thereabout. Yeah, so I met this particular guy and he had all the money, you know, he was wealthy to the teeth. I can't even remember his name, but then I used to call him Beast. Forgive me, but why I used to call him Beast was the guy he was full of arrogance, okay? Someone that would call you on the phone and say, and you tell him, I'm really tired, I want to sleep, and say, oh, sleep, I want to hear you sleep, and he will leave the phone on. Then, I'm telling you, then calls were over 35 naira per minute. Not this all making cheap calls now. Calls were so expensive to make. You know, that era when even buying a SIM card was about 10,000 or 15,000 thereabout. That was that period. So he'll be like, oh, don't worry, sleep on. I want to hear you sleep. Stuff like that. He will come to our house. He'll throw bundles of money to everybody and say, oh, I'm not giving you any bundle of money until you respond to me. He told me then he was going to, he had bought the car. He wanted to give to me to go back to school. I was in my 3rd year, going to final year. Said, I'm going to give you this car. You use it to go back to school. But this is the receipt. This is the car key. But all I'm waiting for is your yes. You know, that kind of arrogance and everything. I told my parents, if I had gotten married to that human being, I don't know what my life would have been now, because it would have been very terrible. He's full of arrogance, not born again, not even a child of God, and all of that. And you see, when the person, he has the money to throw around. As a matter of fact, story has it, not in fact factual story this time around. It happened that he even wired light in our village. I think for several streets he brought in light to the village. So he's that wealthy. He's actually wealthy. He has the money, but then money is not everything. Money is not everything. So if you are a parent out there and you're making somebody to build a house for you before you allow the person to get married to your daughter, be careful, so that your daughter will not be used for money ritual, because you don't even know how that money is coming in the first place. There are some things that are bigger than money. There are some things that we should value better than money. A good relationship, a happy life, these things are worth more than money. Money cannot buy them. No matter how much anybody is wealthy, money cannot buy certain things. So this is very, very important. Very, very important. We should not come to that point where we value money at the expense of joy, at the expense of happiness, at the expense of togetherness, at the expense of a happy life. No. It's not worth it. Nothing can ever make it worth it. All right. So let me find where I picked my questions from. Yes, where I stopped from. All right. So I have a question. Okay. A comment rather from Sonyeka Akpaida. She said, users are useless to you. That's very right. You got that. All right. Beauty Girl said, Chai, Mr. and Mrs. Users, give us space. So they should give us space, including me. If there are users in my life, give me space. Very, very important. So Sylvia said, users are useless to me. QED. Very, very important. Very, very important. All right. So I have a question. Is it a question from Mishted? Please, how do you deal with someone, a guy who pretends to be nice, seems to be good, but does not look like where you are going to? I mean a wolf, but in sheep's clothing. Well, if you meet somebody in your life, the person is nice, the person seems to be good, but does not look like where you are going to, it's important that you detach yourself from the person. There is not every good person you get to marry. Let me say that again. It's not every good person that you get to marry. It's not every nice person that you get to marry. Some people are good. They are nice. They are gentle, all right? But then they are not going your way. If they are not going your way, then you cannot get involved with them. I remember while I was still single, I met a particular guy. He was really nice. He was nice. He was kind. He was caring, all right? But then I didn't see a future with him. That was the problem. So it was obvious to me that in as much as this guy was a good guy, he was a kind guy, he was nice, he was a giver, but I didn't see a future. I couldn't build, I didn't see my future with him, okay? So that was why I had to let him go in that relation. In fact, I remember vividly the day I told him I was not going to get married to him. He was crying. He was crying, and he cried to the point that people in my lodge, in my hostel, came out and were like, girl, you get mine though. How guy would they cry for you like that, you know, stuff like that. But I didn't want their what they were saying to put me under pressure to accept him. I reminded him he was a good person, he was a nice person, but that I didn't see us working together. And kindly and politely, I had to tell him that this relationship was not going to work. In as much as I was kind and polite about dismissing him, he was still crying, and honestly he was a good person, but it's not about his cry. I couldn't get married to him because he was crying. You see, my future, my life was bigger and much important than that particular cry. So don't tell me I have a strong mind, though. I don't have a strong mind. But then what happened is simply that I did not see my future and I had to detach. There are people that are nice, they are good. In my life, I've come across people like that. They are nice, they are good, but I knew that I was not going the same direction with them, so I had to let them go. So in the same way, you let the person go if the person is not going in the same direction with you. And if the person is a wolf in sheep's clothing, you have to make sure that you, as you have discovered, you detach from the person. So it is discover and detach, all right? Discover and detached, so that you don't marry a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes. I got this one from T Black. She said users are reapers. I hear you. Mish said give them space. Very important. Yes. Kelly said give them space. So Bishop Okuli said users are useless to you. Yes. Kelly said identify them. Very useless. Victor Perry said bam. Bishop Okuli said don't always make yourself available to them. That's right. T Black said block them. That's very interesting. All right, Mish said prophecy happens at the right time. Yes. So Sylvia said Ukraine. Yes, Ukraine. Mish said remain committed to God even when your prophecy tarries. That's correct. Keep showing up even when no one is listening to you. That's very, very correct. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I got another question from Bishop Okudilese. He said, what can you do when you are faithful in your financial kingdom stewardship and yet you suffer unnecessary financial dryness? This question is similar to the question on why prophecies fail and what to do. Let me just sip water. So this question is similar to the former question we had on what to do when your prophecy fails. If you are a faithful financial kingdom steward and then you are still suffering financial dryness, number one, it could be that the devil is trying to discourage you from your financial stewardship, from your kingdom stewardship. And you cannot allow the devil to win in that aspect of your life. Number two, it could be that despite kingdom stewardship, there are some financial intelligence you do not have. So you might be a faithful kingdom steward. You get money, you pay your tithe, but you don't know how to invest your money properly. You don't know how to invest your money in things that will bring money your way. You will still find yourself in financial hardship because people will not give you money every day. So you have to invest your money in anything, in an investment, in a business, in something that has ability to reproduce money for you. So, number one could be that the devil is trying to discourage you. The second one could be that you do not have the financial intelligence necessary in order to have money. So, this is very, very important. Another reason why this can be happening, besides the devil trying to fight you, discourage you, and not having financial intelligence. Another reason could be that you are not able to, you don't give with joy. All right, let me put it that way. You are giving, you are committed in your kingdom stewardship, but you are not giving for the right reasons. Okay, that's it. You're not giving for the right reasons. You may be giving so that people can notice you. You may be giving so that people can take note that you are the best church giver. You might be giving because you want everybody to know that this is what you do. You might be giving out of pride. You might be giving out of grudges. So these are some of the reasons that might make you not to also receive financially, and then you are experiencing financial dryness. It could be one or any of these ones. So please, as an individual, find out why this is happening. Beyond giving, beyond doing your kingdom stewardship, are you also having the financial intelligence necessary in order to have more financial returns? It is true that God said he will bless you, but he said he will bless the work of your hands. So when God wants to bless, God has to bless what it is you are doing. And if you are giving God in his kingdom, you also need to figure out how to make money while here on earth. And that is very, very key. Okay, so Mish said, while you are committed, remain consistent. That's important. Steloma Ifende said, commitment is the key. That's very, very correct. Okay, I have a question from Victor Perry. He said, please, ma, how do you handle a case or a situation where your father arranged a lady from the same village for you to marry and insists that it must be her? We've had situations like this where parents arrange marriages for their children, and you cannot afford to marry because your parents want you to marry a particular person. You might say that this is you don't want to disobey your parents, but your future is bigger than that. Your future is bigger than that. If they are truly your parents, they will come around, especially if you make a good choice. You cannot marry because your parents said this is the person you must marry. You have to explain to your parents that, well, if I want my marriage to work, I have to be the one to choose the person I am going to marry. Didn't you see what happened in the Garden of Eden? When Eve had made a mistake and eaten the forbidden fruit, Adam quickly said, "It's the woman you gave me. It's the woman you gave me." He just, all of a sudden, it looked like it was, he did not make any choice in it. Yet, he was the one who saw the woman and said, this is bone of my bone and this is flesh of my flesh. That was the moment he took the decision to get married to her. Yet, he was saying, it's the woman he gave me. So God wants us to make our decisions. The Bible says that he that findeth not a good wife, not he that they gaveth a good wife. He that findeth a good wife. So you have to search and find and make sure that what you find is a good wife. That's what Bible says, that you obtain favor from the Lord. Not he that they gaveth a good wife. Don't go and receive a wife from your father or your mother. The things you might see in that relationship might be terrible. The fact that they say the person is a good girl does not mean that the girl is good for you. So, she's a good girl. I agree, father. I agree, mother. This girl is a very good girl, but she is not for me. This guy is a very good man, but he is not for me. Oh, Lord. If I had followed that style, I would have married terrible people. I won't even be here with you today. I won't even be where I am today, you know. You cannot make that mistake for your life. Remember, this is your future we're talking about. And you don't want to get married today and then have marriage issues tomorrow and get married to another person tomorrow. No, you have to make this decision for yourself. And it's important that you get to your parents and let them know that this is the decision I am making. And my decision is that I will decide who I am going to marry. In everything, Father, I'm going to obey you. In everything, Mother, I'm going to obey you. But you see, in this decision of who to marry, my happiness is important. My life is important. My future is important. I cannot suffer heartache. I cannot deal with heartbreak. And I don't want you to be responsible for my unhappiness. This is the reason why I am making this decision for myself. So, Father, allow me so that if anything happens in the future, I won't blame you. So that if anything happens in the future, you won't be the one I'll be laying curses on because I am suffering. So I want to be happy so that if I make a decision of who to marry, anything that comes out of it, I will take responsibility for it. So this is very, very important. Don't walk up to your father and talk to him. Make sure that you are not pointing at another lady, because if you say something like, I'm not going to marry this lady, I'm going to marry her, you have created a fresh problem for another lady, because he's looking at her as the reason why my son did not obey me. Maybe if you had been the type of child that has always been obedient and rest of them say, it's because of him, that's why my daughter could not obey. It's because of her, that's why my son could not obey. Don't put them on that kind of pedestal. It's not good. So go alone and settle the matter alone. I have not found who to marry, but I'm not going to marry the person you find for me, because I want to be responsible for my happiness. I want to be responsible for my future. If not, whatever comes out, even if it's a mistake that we made by ourselves, I'll keep blaming you all the days of my life. And I don't want my marriage to be the reason why I will not have a good relationship with you. Do you want me to get married and then you don't get to see my children? Do you want me to get married and then we don't have a relationship anymore? So these are the lines you will give to your father or your mother who is trying to insist on a particular lady or a particular guy for you. So this is very key. Yes, Eunice Orok, I see. Have the attitude of gratitude. Yes, thank you so much. Yes. All right, so there's another question here. Bishop Ogudlese said, can a child of God redeemed and spirit-filled still be under the menace of ancestral curse? Can a child of God redeemed and spirit-filled still be under the menace of ancestral curse? There are certain situations that can make a child of God who is redeemed and who is spirit-filled to be under the menace of ancestral curse. The Bible makes it clear that he who the Son sets free is free indeed, and that when we give our hearts to Christ, we are a new creation. All things are passed away, and behold, all things have become new. But then there are things that we need to understand. If there is a particular ancestral cycle, an ancestral cause that has persisted in our lineage, we have to intentionally settle these matters through deliverance prayer. So even though you have given your life to Christ, even though you are a redeemed child of God, even though the Holy Spirit now lives inside of you, but there is a pattern that has been set from your foundation, and you have to intentionally, deliberately revoke some of those patterns, because you cannot allow to see those things appear and work out in your life. Now let's look at a case study. Going from the lineage of Abraham, we see Isaac, we see Jacob being sons that God had announced their birth, sons approved by God, sons anointed by God. But you see, even though Abraham was a man connected to God, something was persistent in his lineage. Abraham lied about his wife. Isaac came to a point and he also lied about his wife. Jacob told his grandfather and his father, you guys don't know how to lie. My name is liar, supplanter. I'm going to be the one. In fact, you guys lied about your wives. Me, Jacob, I will lie about myself. My name is not Jacob, my name is Esau. So he took lying to another level. You see, and these things keep replaying in their lineage. So it's important that while you are born again, while you are spirit-filled, you should make deliberate attempts to dissociate yourself from every ancestral cause that is upon your life. And this is through key deliverances. It is important that we know that there are different graces in the body of Christ. There are different graces in the body of Christ. While others may be very good at teaching, some others are also good at deliverance and breaking of some of these ancestral causes. So don't take things for granted. Don't take things for granted at all. There are things today that can affect your tomorrow if you do not handle them specifically. I've seen people who are tongue speaking, who love the Lord, who read the Bible, but they experience different things in their lives, things that their parents have experienced. There is one that whenever she takes in, she has miscarriage, and that was what was happening to her mother too. So please, it's important that while we do not trivialize these situations called ancestral cycles, it is true that God's power is strong. God's power is strong to handle all of these things, but we have to also be intentional in making sure that these ancestral causes do not affect our lives, even in this our new walk with God. That is very, very important, so that we don't go through life ignorantly. That is very, very important. All right, I have another question from Victor Perry. He said, please, ma, are there time frames for these 4 stages of relationship, the dating, the courtship, the engagement, and marriage? No, necessarily. There are no time frames or time limits for these different relationships, the dating, the courtship, and marriage itself. There are no time frames, but you can just make up your mind that for the dating season, you can take out with 2 months. You should be able to know if you want to actually be in a relationship with somebody or not. For the courtship, you can take another 2-3 months to get to know. All together, from dating to engagement, should not be more than a year. So no matter how you want to spread it out, you might say, okay, 3 months dating, 3 months courtship, 3 months engagement, and then we plan for our marriage. It's fine. But for dating, courtship, and engagement, make sure that these 3 processes do not take more than a year, so that you do not put yourself in a situation where you begin to offend God, where you begin to break vows that you have made, where you begin to do things that you shouldn't have done simply because time has become too long. So this is very, very key. There are no time frames. All right, but you have to just use your wisdom to know what is right for you in that relationship. All right, so I see Bro Vincent Obada. I see you. Keep the fire on, Mama. I'm enjoying this session. Thank you. Still on me, friend. I said I'm seriously learning. Thank you so much. Tibla said, wow, yeah, that's how we roll at Checkpoint. Beauty Girl said, wow, thank you so much, mommy. Thank you. Flick Zeal said, Lady of the Ring. Does that sound like the name of a new movie? Bishop Okulele said, great delivery. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. Thank you for all that you do for me. Mish said, you are so good, mama. Thank you so much. That was sweet. Sister Ray Flugsy said, you can engage without an engagement ring. Yes, very, very correct. Tibla said, thank you, mama. Thank you. An engagement party is not necessary. That's correct. Keep shooting. Great moment. Thank you so, so much. Sonia Kakpada said, they always make you feel like the issue is with you. That's very characteristic of an emotional blackmailer. Tibla said that person is an assassin. They can kill with emotions. Yes. Stasiva said, more of unction, mama. Thank you so, so much. Yes, Sonia Kakpada said, gaslighting you steady. That's what an emotional blackmailer does. They keep gaslighting you on a steady basis. Bishop Okunle said, we have too much food in Zion. It's just that some people have eyes but they don't see and ears but they don't hear. That is true. All right. So Victor Perry said, very powerful, mama. I'm loving this. Thank you. Honeybell says, notice the red flags and don't ignore it. Never ignore red flags. Very important. Victor Perry said, red flags, avoid and run. Avoid them and run. Run like there's no tomorrow. Yes, and Kelly said money is not everything. Certainly money is not everything. Yeah. Mish said it's not every good person that you get married to. Correct. Beauty God said, thank you so much for that answer. Thank you for also listening. Yes, Amos 3 verse 3, can two work together except the be agreed? Yes, Flick Zeal said it's not every good person that is good for you. That is very correct. Bishop Okunle said, money cannot buy love and true joy. That is so, so correct. Me said, discover and detach. That is very, very key. Stasivia said, I like that financial intelligence part. Mama, topic for the future. All right, I'm going to work on something on financial intelligence. Very, very key. All right, I'm getting plenty recommendations. Beauty God said, loud it, mama. I am louding it. Victor President said, thank you, mama. Thank you. Mish said, mama, keep shooting. Know so much wisdom. Thank you so much. The river is flowing. Jesus is glorified. Absolutely. Stasiva said, thank you. Thank God for pie. Mama of multiple talents. Wisdom too much. We thank God. More quantum leaping grace. Thank you. Sulama said, mama is still loaded. Thank you so much. I'm getting so many appreciations from you that is making me blush. Don't make me blush on this set, but we are going to begin to round up because it's almost an hour. I want to thank everyone who has showed up on this live session. I know that you have received so much wisdom today, and it will help you. You'll be able to apply it in every area of your life. Yes, Eunice Orok said, thank you so much, mama, for this session. I have learned a lot today. God bless you always. God bless you all too. And thank you so much for being a part of this session. I personally enjoyed it because of you all. I enjoyed it because of your comments. I enjoyed it because of your shares. I enjoyed it because of your likes and everything that you did for us. Thank you so much for making this live session a very beautiful one. Okay, so we'll begin to round up right now. Thank you so much. And I want to encourage you, go through my YouTube channel, look for the other videos that will be a blessing to you. And go ahead and watch them because there are so many things that I would like to share with you, but I cannot share all of them in just one video, okay? So please keep watching Checkpoint, keep watching our videos, our other videos. Don't leave this YouTube channel. Go through the YouTube channel. There's rich content for you here and be a part of it, and our God will bless you amazingly. Thank you so much, and do not forget to subscribe. Yes, subscribe, and also do not forget to click on the notification bell so that you get fresh content whenever I release them. Thank you so much for all that you do for us here at Checkpoint. We are indeed very grateful. And these are the few things I'll be sharing with you today. And until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. Cheers. Mwah. everyone. I hope you were blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, we'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed, and God will bless you. Love you.